A war has been raging on Earth for billions of years, but it's not the kind waged with swords or guns. Instead, it's an invisible battle where microscopic monsters compete for survival. These creatures, armed with formidable biological weapons, contend with one another in a relentless struggle. But for most of them, humans are barely an afterthought. Our immune systems, honed by eons of evolution, are expert defenders, dispatching thousands of microbial invaders every day without us ever noticing. Most of these monsters are harmless to us, their weapons easily neutralized. Yet, every so often, an exception emerges. An organism whose evolutionary path collides with ours in a way that becomes both extraordinary and dangerous. Among these rare adversaries is Naegleria fowleri, a single-celled amoeba with a chilling reputation. This tiny creature, almost invisible to the naked eye, has developed a peculiar and deadly taste for human brains. Unlike most of its microbial peers, it possesses the tools to bypass our defenses, occasionally making headlines as a brain-eating amoeba. But what actually happens when this monster enters your body? How does a microscopic organism launch a battle that even our sophisticated immune system struggles to win? Naegleria fowleri is classified as an amoeba, a microbe with a nucleus, among the simplest and oldest forms of life. In its natural habitat, it is a voracious predator, constantly hunting and devouring bacteria and other tiny organisms, tearing them apart with ruthless efficiency. Like many amoebas, it possesses the remarkable ability to transform into different forms to survive changing conditions. Its most active state is called the trophozoite stage, where it appears as a squishy blob with minuscule arms, constantly on the move, dividing and thriving. The preferred home of Naegleria fowleri is warm, fresh water, ponds, rivers, lakes, and hot springs. But human activity has expanded its territory. When water systems like swimming pools, spas, fountains, or pipes are improperly maintained or left untreated, they offer a new sanctuary. The amoeba especially thrives in higher temperatures, so as summer arrives and people flock to cool off in lakes and pools, the chances of an encounter increase. Despite this, millions of people come into contact with Naegleria fowleri every year, especially in warmer climates, and most never suffer any ill effects. Many people even possess antibodies against it, suggesting past exposure. You can swallow the amoeba without consequence. Your digestive system makes short work of it. The real danger comes in a far less likely but far more catastrophic scenario, when contaminated water splashes high up into the nose, usually during vigorous swimming or diving. Imagine a perfect summer day, someone enjoying a swim in a warm lake. In the water, there are millions of viruses, bacteria, and amoebas, an invisible soup of life. Most pose no threat, but Naegleria fowleri is different. If a tiny drop of contaminated water is forced deep up the nose, the amoeba may find itself in unfamiliar territory. At first, it isn't seeking trouble. It's just looking for bacteria to eat. But as it explores, it encounters the body's natural defenses. The inside of your nose is lined with mucosa, a slimy barrier packed with chemicals and immune cells designed to neutralize invaders. Most microbes are destroyed here, but Naegleria fowleri is unusually resistant. It moves calmly, seemingly undisturbed, mildly annoyed by its new environment. Then, by a twist of evolutionary fate, the amoeba stumbles upon something irresistible: the olfactory nerve cells. These are the cells responsible for your sense of smell, carrying information from the nose to the brain. They communicate using a chemical called acetylcholine. Remarkably, Naegleria fowleri has receptors that detect acetylcholine, drawing it toward the nerve cells much like a moth to a flame. As the amoeba follows the trail of acetylcholine, it penetrates the tissue, heading deeper toward the brain. The body's first responders, immune cells called neutrophils, rush to the scene. These are tough, suicidal warriors that attack invaders with chemical weapons and by tearing them apart. But Naegleria fowleri is a battle-hardened fighter, used to fending off fierce microbial enemies in its natural habitat. While many amoebas are killed, some evade the attacks, continuing their journey along the olfactory nerves. The invasion is slow, taking between 1 and 9 days. During this time, the victim feels nothing. But once the amoebas reach the olfactory bulb, the brain's center for smell, they unleash their full fury. The brain cells, defenseless and rich in acetylcholine, become easy prey. Naegleria fowleri releases a barrage of toxic molecules, some acting like microscopic bombs, rupturing brain cells so they can be devoured. The amoeba multiplies rapidly, entering a feeding frenzy. It grows eerie, mouth-like structures called food cups, which it uses to latch onto and consume brain cells, often while they are still alive. The body's immune system responds with overwhelming force, flooding the brain with millions of immune cells. But this is a problem. The immune system is not a precision tool, especially in the delicate environment of the brain. The fierce battle results in massive inflammation, drawing fluid into the brain tissue. As the brain swells within the confines of the skull, pressure builds, compressing critical areas like the brainstem, the region responsible for vital functions such as breathing. Symptoms begin subtly: headache, fever, nausea, and vomiting. But as the infection spreads, more severe neurological problems appear: confusion, hallucinations, seizures, and eventually coma. The swelling and inflammation damage the brain irreversibly. Tragically, within a week, most patients succumb. The disease, known as primary amoebic meningoencephalitis, is almost always fatal, with a survival rate of less than 3%. By the time doctors recognize the infection, it is usually too late. Despite its terrifying reputation, Naegleria fowleri is exceedingly rare. Hundreds of millions swim in lakes and rivers every year, but only a handful of cases have been documented in recent decades. The amoeba needs a perfect storm of circumstances to infect a person. Contaminated water must be forced high up the nose, the amoeba must latch onto nerve tissue, and it must evade the immune system's initial defenses. The odds are extraordinarily low. Naegleria fowleri is not evil, nor is it a significant public health threat. It is simply a creature trying to survive, usually content to hunt bacteria in warm water. But every so often, its evolutionary path intersects with ours in a deadly way. Until we better understand and can treat this infection, it will remain a rare but sobering reminder of the hidden battles waged between humans and the microscopic world. For most of us, awareness and proper water safety are enough. For the unlucky few, the war becomes tragically personal. Through science, vigilance, and continued research, we strive to tip the balance in our favor, against even the most formidable of microscopic monsters. Did you find our videos helpful? Please like and subscribe to our channel so we can be motivated to answer the questions that people are still wondering about.